It's the dawn of a new day in America. Donald Trump has stunned Hillary Clinton in one of the biggest upsets in U.S. political history. The Republican won the presidency by prevailing in most battleground states, including Florida, North Carolina, and Ohio, and captured Democrat-leaning states such as Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. Trump's victory has been attributed to voter disillusionment of the establishment, as well as rising populism. Sonia Artero begins our coverage.
President-elect Donald Trump humbly thanked his rival before calling on the nation to come together.
Hillary has worked very long and very hard over a long period of time, and we owe her a major debt of gratitude for her service to our country. I mean that very sincerely. Now it's time for America to bind the wounds of division, have to get together. To all Republicans and Democrats and independents across this nation, I say it is time for us to come together as one united people.
Against all odds, the businessman and reality TV star won what many called an impossible election. But the votes proved Americans could care less about temperament and rhetoric and simply craved change. The kind of change that requires busting up the Washington establishment that has failed the people. Trump graciously vowed to deliver on that promise.
I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans. And this is so important to me.
Moments before Trump's victory speech, thousands of Clinton supporters at a rally in New York were in tears. Her campaign chairman told them to go home.
Everybody should head home. You should get some sleep. We'll have more to say tomorrow.
And shortly after that, Clinton called Trump to concede. In Florida, Republican Senator Marco Rubio won a second term and encouraged supporters to embrace this new America.
I am glad that I'm an American in the 21st century. America's going to be okay. We will turn this country around. I have faith. I know God is not done with America yet. He has great plans for our people.
Elsewhere, House Speaker Paul Ryan thanked supporters for re-electing him and helping Republicans retain control of the U.S. House. In fact, both chambers of the U.S. Congress are projected to remain under Republican control. Thank you. Sonia Artero, TVB News.
President Xi Jinping has congratulated Donald Trump by phone on winning the U.S. presidency. Now, how will Trump's victory affect global relations? Jimison Wong takes a closer look.
In Beijing, a foreign ministry spokesman said China will work with the U.S. leader to ensure the steady and sound development of bilateral ties. Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen congratulated Trump on his victory. She expressed hope the island will continue to be a close partner with Washington. Elsewhere in Asia, security and trade issues, including the South China Sea territorial dispute and North Korea, will be under the spotlight as the new U.S. government takes office. In Europe, jitters about the future of NATO after Trump questioned earlier whether the Europeans have paid their proper share for their own defense.
It is important that the bonds across the transatlantic bond remain strong, and we face a challenging new security environment, hybrid warfare, cyber attacks, and the threat of terrorism. U.S. leadership is as important as ever.
Russian President Vladimir Putin sent Trump a telegram of congratulation. The Kremlin said Putin expressed his hope to work together for removing Russian-American relations from their crisis state. Critics have accused Trump of cozying up to Putin on the campaign trail. French right-wing leader Marine Le Pen also congratulated Trump, tweeting, "American Mexican people free. Concerns, however, in America's southern neighbor, Mexico, where many are unhappy that Trump had demonized their country. Some fear cross-border trade would now take a beating. Indeed, the Mexican peso fell sharply overnight before stabilizing. Trump's victory also jolted markets around the world, sending Dow futures and Asian stock market prices sharply lower. Here in Hong Kong, the Hang Seng Index closed down almost 500 points, or more than 2%. Jameson Wong, TVB News.
Donald Trump's victory sparked concerns among some American businessmen engaged in the China trade. More on that from Ali Long.
The U.S. election was also closely watched here in Hong Kong. At this event hosted by the American Chamber of Commerce, Trump supporters were clearly outnumbered by those who'd back his Democratic rival, Hillary Clinton. But as the day progressed and Trump began winning more states, some U.S. businessmen who trade in China became worried. One exporter of specialty chemicals even called the Trump victory his biggest nightmare.
He doesn't have a team supporting him that understands both China and international trade. He starts by making the Chinese government angry, and trade, particularly for people like us who are importing into China, becomes much more difficult.
Biggest worry for any kind of business is uncertainty and volatility. I have no idea what kind of directions the new president will take. We really don't, because his comments on both domestic and international policy have been hard to figure out.
But there were words of reassurance from the U.S. Consul General, who stressed that Washington will continue to protect American interests overseas.
We represent freedom of expression, good economics, good markets, fair play, transparency, and good governance. And we'll continue to be expressing that in Hong Kong and Macau.
Politics aside, the event was also a great networking occasion and valuable lesson for many secondary students who volunteered to run a mock ballot. The mock election has become a tradition at this event, so those who aren't eligible to vote in the real thing can still get a taste of the experience here. El Milong, TVB News.
Donald Trump was known as a colorful tycoon who starred in reality TV shows before becoming a politician. But as Tony Saba reports, it was his talent to entertain which gave him the confidence to run for president and change the status quo.
It began with a long ride down the escalator, Trump Tower, in June of 2015.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
And with that, the billionaire tycoon and reality TV star kicked off a combative 17-month quest to capture the White House. At first glance, Donald Trump seemed an unlikely candidate for President of the United States. Known more as a real estate mogul and TV celebrity, it seemed implausible he would become a politician as well. He was born on June 14th, 1946 in New York City. He attended college at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. In 1971, he was given control of his father Fred Trump's real estate and construction firm. He steadily built up a real estate empire, whose portfolio included office towers, hotels, casinos, golf courses, and other branded facilities. But it was the money-obsessed era of the 1980s which really showcased Trump. He reveled in his glitzy lifestyle, lived large, worked hard, and played even harder. But his business franchises also suffered setbacks. Although Trump never filed for personal bankruptcy, his hotel and casino businesses have been declared bankrupt 6 times between 1991 and 2009. Still, throughout the presidential campaign, Trump brushed off his business failures. By the 2000s, Trump had established himself as a reality TV star. He'd already made cameos in Hollywood movies, but it was The Apprentice, which first aired in 2003, that made his name. It established his media credentials and gave him the chance to build up a large base of fans who liked his no-nonsense style and his famous catchphrase, "You're fired," at the end of each show. Trump's campaign promise was to make America great again. He pledged to achieve this through the sheer force of his personality, negotiating skills, and business acumen. But Trump's rise rocked the Republican Party and the American political establishment to its core. And he reveled in that, telling Americans he would get rid of the country's hated political establishment. By his unconventional and confrontational style, the accusations of sexism, bigotry and racism shocked many who couldn't believe the Republicans had chosen him as their presidential nominee. He took aim at minorities, including Muslims and undocumented immigrants. Some of Trump's strongest denunciations were directed at Mexico, which he insisted sent drug dealers and rapists across the border.
I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall.
Last month, Trump's campaign took a scandalous turn when a shocking video from 2005 was released.
Yeah, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet.
But these scandals, which would have destroyed any other candidate, had little effect on Trump's momentum in the end. Many Americans, left behind by globalization, financial collapse, job losses, and an establishment which seemed out of touch, didn't seem to care about the concerns which surrounded Trump. Now the world waits to see how his administration will take charge of America. Tony Sabine, TVB News.